This is WBSM On Demand.
Good morning. Good morning. I want to thank Jack Spillane for coming in. We enjoyed Jack. Jack's semi-retired now, so maybe we'll get him in a couple of months or something. So, Mayor, you're here. I always, every Wednesday, unless it's up to me or you, we have different schedules. So I appreciate it, Mayor, for coming in. So you're the first former federal prosecutor I've encountered since the Biden pardons. So I'd like your opinion.
So maybe I have an opinion.
Yeah, maybe you have an opinion, and it's probably a valued opinion, experienced opinion. So, Mayor, what do you think of the pardons?
Yeah, well, to cut to the chase, I think it was a very poor decision. It's funny. So just came from Thanksgiving. I went down to Long Island. My wife's aunt's family's there, as I think a lot of people know. And, she has a big family. She had 37 people, Chris, for Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, nice.
And, of course, I'd say of the 37, I think most were Trump voters.
Really?
Yeah. There's some interesting discussions. I avoided most of it, but not all of it.
Sure.
I avoided most of it because on Thanksgiving I focus on food.
Of course.
Focus on consumption.
Right.
So it was a successful Thanksgiving from that perspective. They had a lot of food. So that was all good. But we did start talking about things at one point with a couple of my brothers-in-law, and three of them, and they're all Trump supporters. And one of the things that was asserted in the discussion was, well, Biden's gonna pardon his son. And I was like, he said he's not going to. That's not going to happen.
You believed him?
That's pure supposition. And yeah, I guess I was wrong.
Well, you were, but did you legitimately believe that he wasn't going to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because he said so. I thought so, and so I was really surprised. I felt I was disappointed when I saw the news break on Sunday night. And I'm not unsympathetic, right? So as a father, I feel like, yeah, you got to do stuff. You have to do stuff for your kids, right? And so that part's tough. I think his particular situation is especially tough. And in their defense, it's I think Biden has carried with him for 50 years the burden of the car accident that killed his first wife and his daughter and injured his two other sons, and then his eldest son died of cancer, and so this is from his original marriage, his only son left, and despite being going to all the right schools, actually I think he was in the same class at Georgetown as my wife, although I don't know, they didn't know one another, and I knew a number of people were in school with him at Yale Law School. He was a likable guy and all that, but he went in a bad direction, and we can empathize with people. If you've had family members who've been addicts, well, sure. That's something to be sympathetic about. And has he been pilloried in the press? For sure. All that said, it was the wrong decision. It just makes people feel, at one level, one big dimension of it is that the pardon power is pretty unchecked in the Constitution, and it really derives from the English tradition of the king's authority to pardon subjects who are convicted of a crime, or just to exonerate them even before any kind of formal charge, right? So that's sort of baked into British legal tradition and was adopted by the framers of the Constitution. But it's been unchecked, and now I think it's, in this particular case, this isn't the first time, but I think it's abused. It gives people the sense that there's a justice system for the well-positioned and everybody else. I think the bigger thing is it increases people's cynicism. It's seated for the Democrats, or Democrats like me. It seats the high ground, the moral high ground. It's like we can say, no, we're not like Trump. We're not giving deals we're not engaging in allowing conflicts of interest in our governance of the country. We're not we don't give deals to family members. We don't we're all we try to run government in an upright way, and now he did something like that. I think it's hugely damaging for his legacy for sure, but I think it's damaging for Democrats, and it kind of gives Trump license to do a whole lot and get away with it, because he can always point back, and if he pardons the January 6th folks, even some of them, he can always say, well, what about Hunter Biden?
Right.
And there's no good answer for that, I don't think. There's an answer, but it's not a good answer coming from, a party whose leader did what he did.
We're speaking with the mayor of New Bedford, Jon Mitchell. Of course, Jon was a former federal prosecutor. He's an attorney. When you read the official document from the White House, as I did, and I'm sure you did, he really criticizes the Justice Department, which you used to work at, saying they were politicized, going after his son. That seems bizarre to me, first of all. And second of all, bad for the president to put into an official document from the White House that his own Justice Department was targeting his child.
Look, there was, in the Delaware case, there was a special counsel appointed. It was the former U.S. attorney, the U.S. attorney who served in the Trump administration, who kept the case and brought a case. I think the cases were somewhat ticky-tack, but they're not the kind of cases that are totally unprecedented. It's the kind of thing where, he lied on a form about his firearm license. There was the tax charges in California. Yeah, they weren't. They weren't huge crimes, right? They weren't the kind of things that people normally think of when they think about what the federal government prosecutes. But those cases do get brought.
Sure.
Extenuating circumstances are at hand. I will say that for people of celebrity, right? When they do something and when they cross the line, the standard is a little bit lower in practice.
Sure.
Because they're so visible. And people say, well, look, he committed a crime. Why isn't he being prosecuted? And you see this in a number of contexts. I don't think I personally prosecuted any case that would fall into that category. We did some cases that were pretty, well, I'll tell you one. I mean,
sure.
ExxonMobil spill. They was involved in an oil spill in Boston Harbor, and I indicted Exxon. They pleaded guilty. They prosecuted ExxonMobil. It wasn't the biggest oil spill in the world. It wasn't like Exxon Valdez, but
right.
It was visible. It was ExxonMobil, big company, and so we prosecuted them. Because people look at it and say, why would you give them a break? They're so visible, and there's the potential for an accusation that they're below or above the law because of it's a powerful company, right? And I think the same can be said for celebrities, including the son of the president. So, yeah, does that mean that people who are in high places have to, really be careful? Yeah, it does.
Yes.
I think that is just sort of the practicality of prosecutorial judgment and the way it's been exercised in both parties over the years. But the other part of it is that he admitted to it. And he admitted to being an addict at a time when he was filling out a firearm license application. So it's kind of like, well, the evidence is there. It's kind of
he wrote a book.
It's a layup of it was in his book, and it's kind of a layup of a case. And so that's why I took the jury whatever it was, a half hour to come back and convict, because it really wasn't anything wasn't much of a defense.
Right.
So, yeah, all that said, it's kind of a minor offense in the big scheme of things, but it's something I think the government had to bring, and I don't think the president should have gone back on his word on this one. I don't think he was lying. I think that he intended not to pardon his son.
He's hoping maybe someone else would do it for him.
Well, maybe, maybe, but I don't think he. I think he changed his mind. He's entitled to change his mind, but I just don't think he should have.
We have the mayor of New Bedford here in studio, and I think people probably refreshed to hear that. Not surprised, because it doesn't surprise me, Jon, that you would be be outraged, kind of, to some in your low key way.
I don't know if I wouldn't say that I'm disappointed. I'm not outraged because I do think that Hunter Biden is kind of a pathetic guy. He's a drug addict,
yes.
And we see, like I think in this day and age, especially where we live, we see people who've got those issues, right?
Yep.
And you feel for them, but it doesn't mean that they get to do whatever they want, right? There's still rules.
Do you have any concerns that was the least of the worst pardons that might come? In other words, there are other people right now trying to get pardons, right? Now, if you're a bad character if you need a pardon, generally, right? You must have done something wrong. Any concerns that there are other bad, disappointing pardons that may come?
Well, I don't know.
Andrea
they're
Rollins?
often done. They're ordinarily done at the last minute. Sometimes when presidents have been heading out the door, and there have been some bad ones. I mean, including by both administrations. People remember what was his name? Was it Mark Rich?
Mark Rich.
Yeah, that
he sold,
Clinton.
Yeah, Clinton sold that one. It's clear.
Yeah, his wife was a big fundraiser, and he had done some stuff that would cause one to wonder whether he was unpatriotic. He was actually a traitor of sorts, right? He was selling secrets to foreign governments. So there was a process. There's actually an office in the Justice Department called the Office of the Pardon Attorney. There is a pardon attorney. The pardon attorney is staffed up by other attorneys, and they vet these applications from mostly federal inmates, but also people who've been convicted and done their time and have moved on, but who want to erase their conviction through the granting of a pardon. So there's a process there. In this case with Hunter Biden, that process was totally bypassed, and because I don't think the Justice Department would have recommended a pardon of Hunter Biden, not in Merrick Garland's Justice Department. I don't think that would have happened. So, look, I think it's I don't know. I hope this is it, but what can I say? And I think. I think it would have been a little more credible if he had said all along, I think my son is being picked on.
Right.
I think some of this stuff's unfair.
Right.
And if I think at the end of the day he's been treated in a way that's just beyond any sense of reasonableness, any sense of even-handed justice, then I think I should, as I would any other citizen, grant him a pardon. He didn't do that, and so it just made it seem all the more surprising. So I'm disappointed. I'm not outraged. I can't say I'm outraged, and that's not the way I would characterize it, because I do think that Hunter Biden's a sympathetic character, but I just don't think the president should have done it.
We are going to now move to your city, Mayor Mitchell.
I am a local official.
You are a local official. Let's talk about the New England Fisheries Management Council and to adopt the recommendations of the Fisheries Survival Fund. You sent a letter regarding that. Talk about that.
I did. So we've talked about the scallop industry a lot because the scallop industry is very important to New Bedford. The Atlantic sea scallop fishery is the most profitable fishery in the United States, and it is overwhelmingly concentrated here in the port of New Bedford. And so it supports a whole lot of jobs. It supports a whole lot of families, and ensuring that, and as it is the case with other fisheries, the scallop fishery is very heavily regulated by the federal government. So when the federal government makes regulatory decisions that might inhibit access to scallop grounds, we need to speak up, and so this is one of those instances. So I've sent a letter into the New England Fisheries Management Council. It's their job concerning a proposal to limit scallop, to limit a couple of things: the number of days at sea that scallopers can fish, as well as the number of access trips into what are called closed areas. And it just as a reminder, the scallop fishery is sustainably run, regulated because of the way because it's been proven. The way it's regulated has been proven to be sustainable unlike fin fisheries.
Okay.
The scallops remain in one place,
Right.
and so they're easier to count, and so they're regulated in can loosely be described as a crop rotation method, right? Where those places where there are lots of scallops, the fishermen can go in and fish, and those places where there aren't that many scallops left that have been fished out, those are closed off to let the scallops regrow and replenish, right? Regenerate. So, that's the balance that is struck by the New England Fisheries Management Council, which makes recommendations to NOAA on an annual basis about how much time scallopers can spend in the areas where there are scallops available is something that we actively engage in, because it just counts for a lot here. So I say all this just by way of background. It's a little bit in the weeds, but I think it's important for everybody to know the context, because the scalloping is New Bedford's cash crop, and we make sure that we're advocating for the industry whenever the opportunity arises.
This is millions of dollars.
Oh yeah,
millions of dollars.
Yeah, there's a lot at stake, and,
right.
and so we've been disappointed with some of the decisions that the council's made. We talked several months ago about an area of Georges Bank called the Northern Edge that has been closed since the 90s for about 30 years, and I just think that a lot of the environmental groups have had their hands in shaping that debate to the point where what's being debated, the area whose opening is being debated has been so narrowed that it's like it's not even worth it at this point. It's like this narrow strip in the Northern Edge that was being offered up for reopening, and it's like it was so small because it had been shaved back and back at the request of some of the environmental organizations, that it's just the whole matter got dropped again, which is really unfortunate. So we pressed the case for the scallop industry again and again, and I'm proud to do that.
And I think this letter is available probably on the website.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It is. So if people want to read this letter, 'cause it's a pretty good letter, and it's really interesting stuff, even if you're not a fisherman, because this really is how our whole economy runs.
Well, we have to. Yeah, I wouldn't say quite the whole economy, but it's a big, scalloping's a big deal for New Bedford.
Yeah.
And it's a fishery that's been very successful over the years. There are lots of pressures on it now. There's dwindling volume because of the scallop areas haven't grown back as quickly. There's a debate about why that is. There's warming waters in certain places that appear to have had an effect on their rate of growth. There's the whole overlay of what's happening in the Far East. The Japanese are also a scalloping nation, and they were cut off from the Chinese market, and so they are heavily promoting what they sell, their product, in the U.S., and so those imports from Japan have gone up, and they've put downward pressure on the prices here. So there's a lot at stake. You might wonder, like, well, what does that have to do with the job of mayor? You're supposed to be filling potholes and making sure that people are safe and all those things, and that's all true as far as it goes. But if you're a mayor of a city that has that's a center city as opposed to a city that's tied to as a satellite of a bigger city, you don't have to worry about the general thrusts, where you don't have to worry about the sort of the general direction of the economy. But if you're a center, you got to be thinking about like the main industries. So for us, that's fishing. It's also become offshore wind. It's become other maritime. It's become manufacturing and healthcare and those things. So we do spend time trying to advocate for those industries so they get a fair playing field. As goes New Bedford, goes the whole region. Well, it does. That's why we call it Greater New Bedford. Yeah, it's the center city. It's the center of the whole area around here. We're going to take a break, Mayor, and we come back and talk about some of the great stuff that's going on in the city of New Bedford. You got the Christmas tree lighting, all of that stuff. Stick around. We got some people on hold, too. If you want to get in, you can at 508-996-04. Take a break. We'll be right back. I saw them in probably 1987. No kidding. Yeah. Maybe 88. Yeah, they were really good, and they were good back to... Actually, the lead singer played the Portuguese Feast a few years ago. Did he really? Actually, probably more than a few years ago now. But he did. I remember that. I believe it, though. Yeah.
We are going to take your phone calls at 508-996-04. We have the mayor of New Bedford, Jon Mitchell, here in studio. Before we go to the phones, John, we have the Christmas tree lighting, the holiday tree down at Common Park. That should be fun. When is that?
That is Saturday at 5. There's a parade that comes up William Street with the New Bedford High School Band, and I'll be there. I've marched it with my dog in previous years. So I might bring my dog down.
Nice.
He doesn't like the crowds too much, but it's all right. So that's it's a fun thing. I tell you what, though, Chris, if you haven't been down to it in a while, there's a big crowd. There's got to be, I don't know, 300-400, maybe more people for the lighting, and so people have fun with it. And then they go out to eat, and they go out, and the stores are open, and they go ahead and have at it. So I encourage people to come down because I think it's fun. It'll be a little different this year. The tree's a little bit different. I know she's listening. Sylvia De Silva in my office had the idea. She didn't care for the ornaments too much.
Okay.
So she came up with the idea, like, why don't we have kids make ornaments? So that's what happened. So
I like that.
School children at Swift Elementary and Brooks Elementary who, I guess they took blank ornaments. I don't know where you get them. Maybe like one of the arts and crafts stores, and then just made their own decorations. And so that's what's up there this year.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
So we're going to thank all the kids. I thank Sylvia, but also thank all the kids for their creations. We'll get to see them up close. So we have the lighting and all, and then people go out, which is the other reason. We want people to shop locally, and here's a great opportunity to get out and enjoy it. We've started to do the parking discount as well downtown, so just keep an eye out for that. So that's parking has been made easier. So, but there are lots of good shops. I mean, you advertise for Carter's and some of
the best place. Carter's is great.
So, they'll all be open, and so we'll just have a good time. And then the next night, I should add, we have the lighting at Klasky Common. That is another fun event. It's sort of like this winter wonderland of sorts there that DPI, along with students from Voc Tech, put out every year. Students at Voc Tech and the electrical shop do a fabulous job putting it all together, and they show a real terrific attention to detail, and they make it look just so. It makes lots of families happy. So I really appreciate their efforts every year to make it a good event.
And the kids are from what elementary schools or middle schools?
Well, from Swift and from Brooks.
Swift and Brooks. They made the ornaments for the tree. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you're going to have 2 hours of free parking for downtown at the downtown garages and at the north end meters along Cushing Avenue.
Yep. So we want people shopping the Ave too. And look, there's lots of places to go on the Ave as well. I don't mean to leave the Ave out. The thing about the Ave is just it regenerates itself with every generation. There are new shops, new restaurants, and if you haven't been out in the Ave in a while, come check it out. You might find something that you like. You'll certainly find lots of good restaurants.
No, the Cushing Avenue is a treasure, and you're right. It does regenerate itself, and of course, downtown New Bedford looks spectacular the holiday season.
Yeah. So come on down. And by the way, DPI and DFFM are doing a great job setting up the holidays downtown right now. I've been seeing it in the last few days, putting up not just the tree but the wreath on the lights, and they really work hard to make it look just so because they care about the city.
Mayor, do you think we'll have snow for Christmas?
I hope not. That's where my embrace of the holiday season ends. I don't see another snowflake in the city from now until the time I leave office. That'll be just as well. No, I'm not. Snow's a 4-letter word, Chris.
God put it here, let God take it away. Right?
Well, I could
famous quote of the mayor.
I'm not sure that I could get away with that, but I think people might have some expectations of me and the removal of snow. But it may snow. It's been cold this week, but I guess we're going to get, sounds like rain tomorrow, which is better than snow.
No,
rain also is a 4-letter word.
Yeah, no, I don't like rain either, but I don't mind the sunshine and all this. So, but it's good to have good weather for the DPI guys to get out there and put the decorations up.
Yeah. No, look, it's
when did your tree go up, Mayor?
I actually ordered it. I ordered it from Green Thumb, Liz Haskell, right on Rockdale Avenue. That's where I've been going for my trees for a long time. Liz is a terrific small business owner in the city, and she gets great trees and great wreaths. And so, if you need a great tree, you can certainly go to Liz. There are other places that sell it.
But that's all right. What's her name again? Liz Haskell?
Liz Haskell, yeah. Green Thumb, right on Rockdale Avenue.
No, that's great. That's a great one. We like to promote as many businesses as possible.
Yep.
Mayor. So you just ordered the tree. So when do you put it up? Now, this is the first time with the kids out of the house. So they come back.
They never really help me all that much with it. Anyway, so it doesn't really matter. They'll put up the ornaments, but it ends up just being the missus and me putting the thing up.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit, whatever.
One light goes out, they all go out. Is that you,
Yeah,
John?
there's a little bit of that. I tell them not to mess with it. So, I don't do a lot. I'll put out a wreath. I got a fake wreath that I just pull out of the attic every year. That's pretty much it, Chris. I don't go wild with the lights and such.
No.
I leave that. My neighbors do it. Their houses look terrific. I don't really pull my weight when it comes to tree lights outside.
You're more of a Halloween guy. Smoke machines, all kinds of stuff.
That's just for the kids, right?
Not for you, just for the kids.
It's for the kids. Yeah, they get a charge out. So it's for the children.
Just for the children. Folks, we have the mayor of the city of New Bedford here in the studio. We're having kind of a good time. We're going to take some phone calls. Let's see if it continues. Good morning. Thanks for holding. You're live on the air with the mayor.
Oh, hey, Mayor Mitchell. How you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
Mac.
Hey.
Hi. Yeah, I was just listening to Far on a Dust in the Wind. Chris, you were listening to Far. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, I'm a wastewater treatment operator, and I applied for a job down there about 36 years ago.
No kidding.
And at the
They're calling next week. Don't worry about it.
Huh?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm fine. But I applied down there. My reasoning why I'm mentioning this is because what are we doing with the sludge waste?
Well, the sludge. Here's what happens. So the sludge at the end, after it's largely dewatered, is trucked.
I know how it works. What are we doing with it? Where's that going?
Yeah. So I'm just letting
Other people don't know, sir.
Other people are listening out there just so they know that. But the sludge is largely, as you know, dewatered, and then it is taken by truck to a facility in Woonsocket, and that's where it is processed. It's mostly incinerated, but there's a facility in Woonsocket that's been in that business for a long time. That facility might be closing at some point soon. The city of Woonsocket the city of Woonsocket is for now allowing the waste to come in, and we might have to make some decisions in the next few years about where it's going to go from there.
Sure, I understand. Okay,
but you're not the only one listening to what I'm saying. So people need a little bit of context.
Where's the effluent? Where's the water going from the clarifiers? Where's the water going? Out to sea?
The water goes out to sea. Yeah.
Okay, why aren't we reprocessing that water and reclaiming that water and selling it? And it will take our tax base. But we could make a huge plant over there, and you can actually make that into drinking water. I can make it into drinking water myself.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd drink it.
Sir, you want to get a glass of it? Come here in the studio. We'll sell a sponsorship.
A lot of that's heavily regulated by Environmental Protection Agency.
Hold on, guys.
No.
I told earlier, was playing earlier.
All right, listen. Sir, call the mayor's office. You got to have an intern over there, right, that can take notes on this. So, sir, I appreciate the phone call, but we're going to move on. Mayor.
Yeah, let me just answer. So what he's proposing is that the water be sold. There are some places, it's called gray water. There are some places in the West where gray water is starting to be used to irrigate crops. I'm unaware of any. I'd be shocked if this were the case that where there are cities that are actually recycling it for drinking water, right? drinking water and wastewater are heavily regulated by the Environmental Protection Agency. There's only so many things that you can do with it. We have an outfall pipe that goes out into Buzzards Bay for, I think it's like a half mile, maybe a full mile or so, and that's where the water, after the sludge is pulled out, is discharged. So you can't. It would, just in general, I've not heard anybody propose using that water for other purposes, but I think you have to understand that there's a huge volume of water that goes through there. To reuse it economically would require, I don't know if that can be reused economically. It require millions of dollars worth of equipment and the cost of shipping it somewhere to somebody who would actually be willing to pay more for that water than what they would for drinking water that they otherwise have access to. So I'm not sure you can make a business case to do that. I don't know if we can legally do that. I don't think the EPA will allow us to do that. So I just want to give the guy a complete answer because he seemed pretty adamant.
I have a related question. What happens to all the rats? Is there any way I can get those rats? I can grind them up, make a nice meat out of them. Mayor, what happens to the rats? Mayor, what happens to the rats? We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Best place to go, in my opinion, is Carter's Clothing and Footwear. Clothes that fit your South Coast lifestyle, owned and operated since 1947. 77 years, that's to me and you, covering all your work and casual needs, owned by the same great American family, the Carter family, carrying really top-name brands, offered at prices that can't be beat. Brands like Carhartt and Chippewa, Timberland, Under Armour, Champion, Levi's. Also, 75 different styles of work boots, steel toe, non-steel toe, insulated, uninsulated. Wide variety of clothing from head to toe, socks, hats, gloves, everything you need. I was talking to a police officer the other day, heading out for a detail, all in thermal underwear bought at Carter's. Place that everybody loves to go, Carter's Clothing and Footwear. Downtown New Bedford, free parking. Plymouth Ave and Fall River, free parking. Consistently friendly, helpful customer service at both locations. Open 7 days a week with extended hours on the holidays. After you go to the tree lighting in downtown New Bedford, head over to Carter's Clothing and Footwear. So we have the mayor of New Bedford here in studio. So, Mayor, when do you start your Christmas shopping?
Well, not anytime soon, Chris. It's only December 4th. Like, why would I do that?
You like the pressure?
Well, I like the pressure, yeah. And I like to perform under pressure. So even if it's manufactured pressure, that's the way I roll. So I'd say, usually the Christmas shopping season for me kicks off on my father's birthday, which is December 22nd. So I buy him a last-minute birthday present, and I just take that momentum right through the next 2 days until the stores close.
I like that. I do like that. And happy birthday to your dad.
Yeah. No, I'm sure he might be listening today, but
send him the podcast if he's not.
Well, I can send him the podcast. Yeah, I'm not going to say what I'm going to get him. Of course, I have no idea what I'm going to get him at this point. Maybe Carter. I bought him stuff at Carter's before. He likes that stuff.
See, so Carter's Clothing and Footwear.
I might just go there. Yeah, I think that's easy.
Get all your Christmas shopping
done. The power
done.
of suggestion.
Yes, that's why we do it.
You've won me over with your marketing pitch.
See that? Hear that, Kevin?
Kevin
Carter, hear that?
Keep those ads coming.
508-996-0500. Here they are. We got some people on hold now. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. Hello, you're on the air.
We got you. I thought we did.
He was there.
He was there.
Sorry, you're on the air.
No.
Let's try the next guy.
Okay.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Chris, it's Sam.
Hey, Sam. How you doing?
Good. I just want to let you know. Sorry, I got a cold. That a lot of the Christmas tree lighting information didn't come out over the air. Mayor's mic was not on.
We're having a lot of trouble here.
Just a quick repeat.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Hey, thanks for calling in.
Thank you, Sam. Appreciate that.
Let me go over it again. Yeah. Thanks for that. So the Christmas tree lighting is at 5 o'clock on Saturday. It starts with a parade up William Street, and it'll be a special parade and event this year, in part because all the Christmas ornaments, thanks to Sylvia De Silva in my office and the principals and faculty at the Swift and elementary schools, the Swift and Brooks elementary schools, the ornaments were made by the children of those two schools, students of those two schools, and they look great. And so that'll be another reason to celebrate it. But it's an opportunity for people to get out and shop downtown and enjoy the holidays. We usually get 300 to 500 people at the event, and so it's a really fun time. And I just love to see people out there. The place is going to look great.
Lots of free parking, or 2 hours of parking.
Yeah, we get breaks on parking and lots of great places to walk to afterward, shops and restaurants alike.
508-996-05. So you can get on the phone here with the mayor of the city of New Bedford, Jon Mitchell. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Good morning, fellas. So, Mr. Mayor, I had called you before about the subject of property taxes. I asked you specifically on the radio in the past if you were going to go up on the taxes on the city of the residents of the city of New Bedford, and you adamantly said that you would not. So now we know how the process goes. That you probably had an idea, and I would assume that you're going to tell me what your idea of what the budget was going to be for the city of New Bedford, and then you leave it for the city council to vote on it. And now our taxes are gone up, which you adamantly said that the taxes would not go up on the city of New Bedford residents. So can you justify the voting of the taxes going up? Because, I mean, you guys, I guess, didn't learn from the national election that people are fed up in this country, and people are fed up in this, like myself, are fed up with the city of New Bedford, and are planning on leaving because of situations like this. My pay has not gone up very much in the past few years because of COVID and everything else. So how can you justify my taxes keep going up and up like everybody else's is? So you tell me how you justify when you said on the radio that you would not raise taxes. And I'll listen to your answer once again.
No.
Thank you so much for taking my call.
Don't leave.
Okay.
So that's not what I said. I just want to clarify your characterization. I said we'll do our best to not
no, your answer was no. I don't plan on going.
You could take. Yeah, we have no plan on doing it. I didn't give you a no new tax pledge. The reality is that, and we've talked about this plenty of times on the radio, our hands are tied. What goes up, there are three drivers of the tax bills in the city, and it's really unfortunate, and they're all driven by state law. One is the foundational budget in the school department. We have to fund schools at a certain level that is dictated by state law. The other two are pensions. The second one is pensions. Our hands are tied as to how much we are required to contribute to the pension system in the city. We have very, very little wiggle room, and we've done all the wiggling we can on that. The third thing is healthcare. And on healthcare, there's not a lot we can do, but the one thing that we could do is adopt municipal healthcare reform, which I have introduced to the city council no fewer than 4 times. That is a huge driver. If you're a small business person, if you get your health insurance from a private employer, you know that healthcare costs have been going up. What we've said to the city council is, look, we need more negotiating power with the city's unions in order to control costs. So this is what's driving expenses in city government. And so this year what happened was, there is more pressure on residential taxpayers, and that's going up, and that's unfortunate. It's going down on commercial taxpayers. The rate is going down on commercial. And and this gets into the way that the commercial and residential tax shares are split, we couldn't pass, because we're at the maximum so-called split, the city council could not push more of the burden onto the commercial tax base. We were maxed out. So that's where it is. I didn't blame the city council, and the city council's, I don't think, is blaming me on this stuff. So what's really unfortunate is that we sit here and we try to run city government in an efficient way, and we do, but we continue to, with the exception of healthcare, most of it is out of our hands. And on healthcare, the city council's got to do something about it.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Yes. Yeah. 508-996-0500. Man, we're about done.
Look at that, Chris. We're down to the last minute, the fastest minute in radio right now.
It's a good season to be in the city of New Bedford, right?
Tis the season.
Tis the season.
Yeah.
If you see the mayor out there shopping at Carter's, don't interrupt him. He's on a roll.
Yeah.
But it won't be for a couple of weeks still.
I'll be focused, and if I'm not as friendly as I usually am, it's because I'm trying to meet a deadline.
Andrea Rollins gets a pardon?
Andrea Rollins. Wait, who's Andrea Rollins?
Used to be Rachel Rollins. Rachel used to be the U.S. attorney.
Oh, I don't.
She needs one.
Well, I don't know, but all I know is that this one was not one that I agreed with.
Mayor, I appreciate you